Running is a great way to stay in shape, but after a while you feel a burn in your muscles. Today we will be looking into the effects intensive exercise has on our body and pH levels. So what happens when we begin intensive exercise? Normally our bodies produce energy for cellular activities through aerobic respiration and our metabolism, a series of reactions that break down food molecules into packets of easily consumed energy known as ATP. The energy produced from aerobic respiration satisfies the demands of the body and cellular activities without difficulty during our daily lives. We breathe faster to supply oxygen required by this increased metabolism. However, our body's metabolism exceeds the oxygen supply and begins to use an alternate biochemical process that does not require oxygen called anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration is used by the muscles when they do not receive enough energy or ATP from aerobic respiration and need a second supplier. The process of anaerobic respiration produces lactate and hydrogen ions as a byproduct. So now the body is performing anaerobic and aerobic respiration. However, the muscles won't have been able to sustain anaerobic respiration for more than a couple of minutes. This is due to the hydrogen ion accumulation. Remember that the hydrogen ions are a byproduct of anaerobic respiration, and with the increased rate of anaerobic respiration, the hydrogen ions begin to accumulate and acidify the muscle cells. With decreased intramuscular pH levels, muscle contractions would have been inhibited for a short while after they started anaerobic respiration. Some member proteins, called monocarboxylic transporters, shuttle lactate and hydrogen ions out of the muscle cells, reducing the effects of hydrogen on the intramuscular pH levels. The hydrogen ions must be shuttled out together with lactate molecules because MCT are co-transporters, meaning they need one molecule to shuttle out the other, and doing so binds them together. So the lactate and hydrogen ions are picked up from the inside of the cells and shuttled to the bloodstream as lactic acid. Lactic acid is the protonated form of lactate, meaning it has an extra proton.
The intramuscular pH is maintained for a while until lactate is outpaced by the excess hydrogen ions, surpassing the lactate threshold, and the muscle contractions are inhibited. While it is good that the muscles have maintained their pH levels for a while longer, we have another problem on our hands. The lactic acid was shuttled out into the bloodstream. Here's the thing, the pKa of lactic acid is a low 3.86, and the pH of our blood, even during exercise, is significantly higher than the lactic acid's low pKa value. This means that as soon as lactic acid enters the bloodstream, it will dissociate into a lactate molecule and a hydrogen ion. The lactate molecule will be transported to the liver, where it will be cycled and reused. But now there's an accumulation of freely flowing hydrogen ions. So then what happens to the hydrogen ions in the blood? If left alone, it will cause acidosis in the blood, which is an extremely dangerous condition. To avoid this, our body has a very special buffer system on hand, the carbonic acid bicarbonate ion buffer system.
The buffer that maintains the pH of our blood consists of a weak acid, carbonic acid, and its conjugate base, bicarbonate ions. The main role of the carbonic acid bicarbonate system is to regulate the pH of blood and counteract any changes that will alter the ideal pH of 7.4. Maintaining a constant blood pH is critical for the proper functioning of our body, especially because vital cells and proteins are pH sensitive. In the system, carbon dioxide combines with water and forms carbonic acid, which in turn dissociates and forms hydrogen ions and bicarbonate. The presence of both a weak acid member and a base member allows for the system to react with any hydrogen ions or hydroxide ions added to the blood. It is important to note that the buffer system does not completely neutralize the change in pH level. Rather, the system converts the free-flowing ions of the stronger bases or acids into bicarbonate ions or carbonic acid. This results in smaller net change in the pH, therefore the ratio of acid to base changes only slightly and the effect on the pH of the solution is small. The buffer system is governed by two vital organs, the lungs and the kidneys. The lungs regulate pH levels and carbonic acid concentrations through the retention or elimination of carbon dioxide by changing the rate and volume of breathing. By controlling the amount of carbon dioxide that enters or leaves the body, the lungs also control the amount of carbonic acid being produced. The kidneys regulate pH levels and bicarbonate ion concentrations by filtering carbonic acid, extracting and excreting the hydrogen ions from it into the urine, and reclaiming and recycling the bicarbonate ions back into the bloodstream from its filter.